Welcome to A Miles Stone
I
production.
want to talk about Shannon Sharpe. I'm a fan of Shannon, especially the producer of this content. I have watched several videos where, going back to the time Cat Williams was on the show, Monique and some of the other people kind of warned Shannon of he was going out in deep waters. So Shannon said something to the fact, and I'm paraphrasing, that he dates his wage or something to that effect. Basically saying that he's going to date what is suitable for him to date.
Everybody always talk about date your age, date your age. Well, I want to date my wage. Ooh! I'm finna shut all this ish down tonight. I want to date my wage.
Stay right
So
there. Stay right.
where y'all at? Hey, chat, where they at?
Hold on. Cause you know I keep it on me now.
Yeah.
I keep it on me. You want to date your what?
I want to date my wage. Not my age. I want to date my wage. So where are they? Cause y'all always talking about date your age, date your age. I want to date my wage. So come on with it.
Well, you talking?
As a matter of fact, I'm taking applicants as we speak.
Well, you talking spicy tonight, boy.
So he gets himself caught up with this 19-year-old female, and he was living in Los Angeles. He left LA, he moved to Vegas, and the woman followed him to Las Vegas. Now, all of a sudden, there's sexual misconduct or sexual improprieties that has taken place. And, you know, there are a lot of things that have been alleged and a lot of things that have been said, right? Black women are pissed with Shannon. A lot of them have turned on him. And for that fact, the black community has, to some degree, turned on Shannon Sharpe. And I think there's a very valuable lesson here to be learned. But the question I ask is, why does these things specifically only happen to black men? I mean, going back to what we saw happen to that of Bill Cosby, the stuff that was alleged on him. But it seems to me that this shit only happens to black men. And I'm asking the question, why is that? Why does these things only seem to happen to that of black men? Why? Jonathan Majors. I'm not getting all of this shit. I'm not understanding it. And like I say, the black community has abruptly kind of turned on Shannon. I think this is a bad precedent for him because I really think, to some degree, this is going to affect his status of us seeing him on television, ESPN, and some of the other shows that he's on. Will his podcast survive the scandal? Tony Busby, who has gone after several black men and their estates, is now targeting Shannon. I got in an argument with Mr. Producer. He said, well, Shannon offered her $10 million. And I'm saying no pussy in the world is worth $10 million. No pussy in the world is worth $10 million. I'm sorry. And I can't see myself, something that I've gotten out here, worked for and build and dedicated my time, life to, and I'm finna give a woman $10 million for some ass? Hell no. And here it is, I'm a nobody. And I know that I set up parameters and things to protect myself from the fuckery. For the life of me, I do not understand how Shannon Sharpe ended up in this situation. How? And it is alleged that he's taken a leave of absence on that of ESPN. I've seen so many times that black men's dicks are the death of them. Shannon is no different. His whole thing is no different. You know, people were alleged, oh, Shannon is gay. You know, and for the most part, he didn't really entertain that bullshit. But I think he came out after a couple of celebrities made those points on him, turned out to not be factual. And it's really not factual. But I think what the problem is that he has an obsession with white women, because of the second white woman that's come out and said that she was fucking Shannon while she was married. And Shannon asked her to leave her husband. He will sexually assault her 20-something years ago. But now all of a sudden you come out and say that Shannon was doing all of these despicable things to you. Bitch, you didn't say nothing in the beginning about he was such a disgusting and horrible person. But all of a sudden now, this 19-year-old comes out and said that, you know, Shannon liked to fuck women, white women in their ass. And that's white women to come out. We're going to do more on this topic about interracial relationships, because I assure everybody out there, and every black man and white woman, or white man and black woman that has ever got into an entanglement will tell you that is a different sex. Because everything that you were ever told you shouldn't do, you can't do, you can't have, that shit comes out when you are having intercourse with somebody of another race. Nobody wants to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it here on the Chris Miles Show. We're going to talk about this shit. And we're going to bring on guests to facilitate what it is that we're talking about. But I think for Shannon, this sets a bad and negative precedent. And as I've said before, black men's dick have been the death of them.